As we begin the book of Bamidbar and Numbers, the Torah starts with a census, a count of the Jewish people. They're going to be organized into their different camps for the purposes of marching in the wilderness and then marching into the land of Canaan. And the parasha begins by telling us the heads of each of the tribes. These were people of incredible renown, wisdom, respect, honor, integrity within the camp. And I'd like to look at two of these leaders. One of them is the head of the tribe of Shimon, and his name was Shelumiel ben Tsurishadai. And the other one was the head of the tribe of Yehuda, and his name was Nachshon ben Aminadav. You can imagine that with millions of Jews in the wilderness and with the different tribes, that it was considered to be an incredible honor to be the Nasi, the leader, the prince of a tribe. And yet these two characters have completely different trajectories in terms of what happened to them in their life. And both of them were firsts. They did something that was the first time that such a thing had been done. Let's have a look at Nachshon ben Aminadav. Nachshon ben Aminadav came from a royal family in Yehuda. He came directly from the loins of Yehuda. In fact, in the future, it would be from him that King David would come. His sister was married to Aaron, the first Kohen Gadol, the first high priest. But the Talmud tells us something incredible about Nachshon ben Aminadav. When the Jewish people traveled away from Egypt, and 7 days later they came to the Red Sea, there was complete panic. The Jewish people saw the sea in front of them, and behind them the Egyptians were coming with their chariots and with their soldiers. People panicked. People shouted to Moshe, let's go back to Egypt. But Nachshon ben Aminadav had incredible faith. And he said, Hashem is taking us this far. He walked into the sea, and he walked in up to his nostrils. And when the sea reached his nostrils, it parted. Nachshon was the one who jumped in. He took, as it were, that leap of faith, and he led the Jewish people. And this is a characteristic of a king. Jewish kings were never the ones who would sit at home and send their troops. They would go out in the forefront. It is something that King David did throughout his life. He was always fighting at the forefront with all of the generals, to the point that he almost endangered and got killed once, and his men had to say to him, no, you've got to remain at home, you can't do this. Nachshon ben Aminadav was the one who took the first leap into the sea, and he remains famous and righteous for all time. And then we look at the head of the tribe of Shimon, Shelumiel ben Tsurishadai. We all know in Yiddish that there is a derogatory term, a shlemiel. A shlemiel is somebody, bad things happen to that person. He's a little bit of a klutz, he's somewhat clumsy. The word shlemiel comes from this person's name, Shelumiel. Well, what did Shelumiel do? This is mentioned a little bit later on in Parshat Balak. But there, Shelumiel ben Tsurishadai is referred to a different name altogether. He's called Zimri ben Salu. And what did he do? The Jewish people were encamped on the borders just outside the land of Israel. And there they were tempted, many of the men were tempted and fell into temptation with the daughters of Moab and Midian. And Zimri ben Salu, who was the head of the tribe of Shimon, went and took a Midianite princess and was cavorting with her publicly in front of everybody and was saying there's absolutely nothing wrong in what I'm doing. And while he was committing this affair together with this Midianite princess, Pinchas, who was the great zealot, came and killed him and her while they were, as it were, in the act. And therefore he comes down to history as us as the great Shelumiel. As he was committing adultery, he was caught and he was killed. So Zimri ben Salu, or Shelumiel ben Tsurishadai, was also involved in a first. It was the first major sexual act of immorality in the camp. And it cost him his life and it cost him his reputation. And here we can see that we have two people who are leaders. And what happened to them? The one person realized, I'm a leader, but the reason why I'm a leader is because I'm here for my community. I'm here because a leader is not here for his own needs and his own passions and his own lust. He's here to lead the community. He'll do whatever has to be done. He'll put his life in danger for the community. And that's what Nachshon did when he jumped into the sea. When it came to Shelumiel ben Tsurishadai, it was about him. It was about what are my needs? What are my physical desires? What are my lusts? How can I earn from being a leader? And in Judaism, that's not leadership. That's got nothing to do with leadership. That's a follower. That's a sign of weakness. So we have these two incredible leaders. On the one hand, the head of the tribe of Yehuda. On the one hand, the head of the tribe of Shimon. Both of them destined for greatness. But the one who becomes great is the one who takes that leap of faith for the Jewish people. And the one who falls is the one who gives in to his desires. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom.